He kicked the door in like he owned the place. Bang. Wood splinters flew everywhere, and my daughter screamed from upstairs. It was 3:07 a.m. No knock. No warning, just boots stomping across our entryway like it was some war zone and not the front room of our family cabin. The man was dressed in black fake badge on his chest, utility belt rattling with gear that looked more costume than cop. Behind him, 2 others followed, masks up, voices low, everyone out. "This is HOA enforcement," he barked, flashlight blinding me. I stood in the middle of the hallway, shirtless, stunned, but only for a second. My brain caught up. HOA at 3 a.m. With no warrant? No ID. "This isn't even an HOA area," I said slowly, keeping my eyes locked on the main guy. His badge had no state seal. His radio wasn't on. No body cam. It's just a smug face and a power trip. "Don't play dumb," he snapped. "You violated subdivision codes, unauthorized renovations, illegal outdoor lights. That cabin isn't even zoned for residency." I could feel my fists clench. My son Liam had wired those outdoor lights himself last month for a school project. We'd been fixing this place up together for months. The cabin was ours bought in full, with no HOA tied to the land. Then I heard the stairs creak behind me. Liam, 17 years old, calm as ever, silent. He was already in his stance. The guy didn't know. He had no idea who he was stepping to. 'Cause for the past year, Liam had been training twice a week with his godfather, a former Navy SEAL, the same man who taught him how to disarm a threat, clear a room, and read every move before it happened. "Sir," Liam said quietly from the top step, "you're trespassing on private property. Leave now." The fake cop chuckled, lifting a stun baton. "Oh, what? Is the Boy Scout gonna stop me?" I didn't even get to respond. In 2 seconds, Liam was at the bottom of the stairs. Smooth, fast, controlled, and then everything changed. The man didn't even have time to blink. Liam moved like a switch had flipped ducked under the baton, grabbed the guy's wrist mid-swing, and twisted. Hard. The baton clattered to the floor. The fake cop howled, but before he could recover, Liam kicked his knee sideways. Not enough to break, just enough to drop him flat. The 2 men behind him froze. One reached toward his belt, but Liam had already grabbed the baton off the floor and pointed it right at him. "Don't," he said, voice cold, dead serious. I stepped forward then, phone already recording. I turned it toward the second guy. "What's your name? You want to tell the cops why you're breaking into private property in the middle of the night? Should I just let this video go viral?" He backed up, hands in the air. We thought this was an abandoned cabin, HOA authority said. "There is no HOA authority here," I snapped. "This land hasn't had one since 2004, and even if it did, that doesn't give you the right to break in like wannabe SWAT." The guy looked like he wanted to melt through the floor. Liam stood over the groaning leader, who was now spitting curses and trying to crawl for the front door. But Liam planted a boot in his path, calm, watching, making sure he didn't get up. "You better hope the sheriff gets here before Rick does," Liam muttered. That name hit like a bullet. One of the men blinked. "Wait, Rick Stone." Liam tilted his head. "You know him." "Everyone in security knows him," the guy mumbled. "Didn't know this was his family. I couldn't help it." I smiled. Outside, headlights rolled up the dirt driveway, red and blue flashing. "Through the trees, Sheriff. Perfect timing." The moment the patrol car stopped, the woods went dead silent, like even the trees were holding their breath. The sheriff stepped out slow, one hand on his belt, the other already shining a beam toward our busted front door. He was an older guy, gray mustache, steady eyes but tonight. His calm was thin. He'd seen the mess from the driveway. He walked up, took one look at Liam standing over the moaning fake cop, then at me holding my phone out like evidence. "You want to tell me why I got a 911 call about a break-in, and you're the ones handling it?" he asked, voice sharp. I didn't flinch, just turned the screen toward him. 3 men broke in, pretending to be HOA enforcers. No badges, just kicked the door down like it was theirs. The sheriff's eyes flicked down to the guy on the floor. then to the other two standing like scared kids in a principal's office. Name, he barked at the leader. No response. Name. The guy groaned something into the floor, but the sheriff was already pulling out cuffs. He nodded toward Liam. Stand him up. Liam did it quick, no emotion, no hesitation, like he'd done it 100 times. The sheriff took one look at his form and nodded. You trained him? Rick did, I said. That changed everything. The sheriff's eyes sharpened. Rick Stone. I nodded once. He whistled low and spit into the dirt. These idiots just kicked in the wrong damn cabin. Within seconds, the cuffs were on. The fake cop kept yelling about how he had authority and orders, but it didn't matter. Sheriff pulled his wallet, flipped open the ID. Badge fake, just a printed laminate. No department seal. You're going down for impersonating an officer, breaking and entering, and about 5 other things I'll list once I stop being mad, the sheriff growled. Man, you with him? The guy shook his head so fast his hat flew off. I didn't know. I swear I thought it was real. Said he was with HOA Enforcement Division, paid us under the table, said it was legal. I leaned against the wall, arms crossed. You ever ask why he's kicking in a door at 3 a.m. on land that's clearly lived in? He just stared at the ground. The sheriff sighed, pulled out his radio. We're gonna need backup. And someone from county records. We've got a forged HOA sweep attempt on private land. Oh, and tell Rick Stone he might want to head out here. His godson just saved the night. I glanced over at Liam, who finally let out a breath and leaned against the doorframe. You good? I asked. He nodded once. I'm fine. Just mad they scuffed the new floorboards. The sheriff chuckled. Kid's got priorities. But deep in his voice, I could hear it. Respect. 10 minutes later, 2 more squad cars rolled in, lighting up the trees like a crime scene. Liam was upstairs changing his shirt. He'd gotten blood on it during the takedown, though not his. Stayed by the porch, watching his deputies dragged the leader into the back of a cruiser, still ranting about property code enforcement and private jurisdiction. Nobody listened. The second guy was being questioned near the driveway. He looked like a scared teenager, nouning fast, pointing at the other one, swearing he was just hired help. The third man, gone, bolted into the woods before the sheriff could stop him, but they'd get him. Too many cameras in this county. I was sipping cold coffee in the kitchen when a black truck pulled up. It didn't have sirens, but it didn't need any. The moment I saw the matte paint and the dented tailgate, I knew Rick. He stepped out slow, wearing a simple hoodie and boots. Hair buzzed short, eyes sharp as ever, and on his face, not fear, not confusion, just steel. Is he okay? He asked me straight. He's upstairs, I said. Handled himself like you trained him. Dropped the guy before I even had time to blink. Rick nodded once. No smile, just quiet pride. That's what we drilled. No hesitation. Control, not rage. Liam came down then, barefoot, holding his old hoodie. When he saw Rick, his face cracked just a little. Not fear, relief, like something in his chest finally relaxed. Rick clapped a hand on his shoulder. Heard you cleared a fake entry in. Under 5 seconds? Liam shrugged. Could have been 3. Slipped on the rug. Even Rick laughed at that. But it didn't last. The sheriff walked in with a folder and hand-weathered yellowed edges, thick with old maps and legal stamps. He laid it on the counter. You need to see this, he said. He dug into that guy's car. Found this in the trunk. Inside were fake HOA documents, eviction notices, forged permits, and a list. A list of 12 cabins hours at the top. What is this? I asked. The sheriff's jaw clenched. Planned sweep. Fake HOA raids. It's all staged to make it look like legal evictions. They were going to take the cabins, flip them, and resell under a shell company. Your place was? The dry run. Liam's fists curled again. Rick took the list, scanned it. I know 3 names on here. Vets. Older, probably living off-grid. Easy targets? I looked at him. You thinking what I'm thinking? He nodded. They're not done. This wasn't just a one-time thing. It's a network, and someone bigger is behind it. the sheriff exhaled, rubbing his face. Then, we just stepped into something a whole lot messier than one bad night. Outside, dawn started to break across the ridge. But inside that kitchen, the air only got colder,